Well, welcome everyone. I am Jaclyn Luongo, the Director of Sales and Business Development for PDO Max. I am quite excited about our guest today for this vlog, Paulina Riedler. And Paulina is the CEO and co-founder of Spakinect. And we quickly became close colleagues and we're growing into many layers of working together from PDO Max and Spakinect. And I'm excited to share some of the success stories and introduce Paulina. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline, for having me.
Absolutely. Can you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you got here, and then maybe I'll share our story of how we got connected and have grown since then.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it. So, as Jacqueline said, I am the CEO and co-founder of Spakinect. My background is in health and wellness, functional medicine. I am actually an RN myself. So I worked in the space doing IV therapy, working for several different practices, offering medical wellness, weight loss, and aesthetics. And so what we did here with Spakinect is identified a critical gap in the industry about 13 years ago, and my husband and I decided to start this venture, offering a solution to practices where one did not exist at the time.
Excellent. And we were first connected through our rep that is in the Texas market because we
Mhm.
share a lot of customers.
We
You know,
do.
we work really quite in synergy because one can't happen without the other. And that's how we've now become affiliated partners and been able to really network and elaborate on that. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And I, as I got to know you, I feel like I ask these organic questions, and I think this will be really great for the PDO Max customer out there to better understand what Spakinect is all about and how they can access some of the benefits and layers of support that you do provide. The first question comes up with in the aesthetic industry, is that the predominant industry that you're really working with? And does Spa Connect get rid of the need for a medical director?
Those are great questions, ones that we're pretty used to answering on the regular. So I actually really love this question about, first I'll answer the first one. What industries are we in? It is primarily aesthetics, but aesthetics, as you know, is evolving. So we started many years ago just offering evaluations for injectables and laser hair removal and a few body contouring devices, cool sculpting. But now the industry has evolved a lot. So we actually offer evaluations for medical weight loss, for hormone replacement therapy, for IV therapy, and all of the medical aesthetics elective cosmetic procedures that you would see at a med spa. So our database has really broadened over the years to make sure we're supporting the industry as it evolves. And to the second question, do we replace the need for a medical director? We actually don't. So I always say we complement the medical director. And the way that we do that is because medical directors, historically, they either have other jobs, they're usually either they're plastic surgeons, so they're in surgery a few days a week, or they might have several practices that they're running between all the time. And that's where we identified this need, this inefficiency for practices, especially for solo nurse injectors who are trying to start their own practice and relying on their medical director to do their good faith exams was creating some bottlenecks and delays in patient care. So we created this scalable solution to instantly connect those practices with one of our providers. So you do have to have a medical director because we do not replace the need for that in most states that will require you to have a physician oversight for your medical spa, but we do act in complement with what your medical director is doing.
Wonderful. And that's useful information because we overall, our accounts have a medical director, but there is that gap. And this makes sense. I'm glad that we're having this conversation about it because it does come up when we're starting to set up accounts, as well as those sole proprietors, just like you said, those, individual nurse injectors and these under that aesthetic umbrella. So that is wonderful. And you mentioned the good health exams and just really the telehealth piece of it. Can you explain a little bit further what you do offer under that category?
Yes. So we offer what in the industry are called good faith exams. It is an industry term. Some people don't know what that means. Essentially, it's just a history and physical and an order for treatment. So what that means is that when a patient wants to come in for Botox, laser, any of the cosmetic procedures that would require medical oversight, we have providers that are licensed in all of the states we operate, which right now is 33 states. We have providers standing by every day, 7 days a week, and you don't have to tell us when your patients are coming in. We're just on demand. So let's say that you, Jaclyn, are going to go into ABC Med Spa and you're going to have Botox, and maybe you've never had Botox, maybe it's your first time there. You would come into the practice, and that practice would say, let's say they have an RN there who's going to be injecting, and they would sit you in the treatment room. Typically, there's a couple different ways practices do this, but this is, I think, the main way. They sit you in a treatment room and they'll give you a mobile device and they'll connect you with one of our providers. And our providers will come on the screen and they'll introduce themselves and they'll ask you some questions about your health history, just to make sure that you are a good candidate for treatment and ruling out any potential contraindications to ensure that you have the safest and most personalized care that day at the practice.
Great, great. And that certainly would be a great asset for thread providers as well.
Mhm.
So that's
Right.
wonderful.
Yeah, and we do give peace of mind. I think that's our mission statement, is to deliver peace of mind to healthcare providers and patients. And that's what we hear a lot from those RNs in the example that I just gave, right? Is the ability to connect with one of our providers instantly. So not having to wait for either their medical director might be in surgery that day. That's a couple of clients I've spoken to very recently who were telling me that it was creating a delay for them because they would have to either not schedule patients on that day because their MD was not available. So just knowing in the back of their mind that we are there for them, they have that peace of mind. And as an RN myself, I can understand that perspective, because that would have given me peace of mind if I had that in my practice when I was doing IV therapy, especially mobile IV therapy.
Makes sense. Absolutely. And now that we have started to collaborate together and become an affiliated partner, what can you explain a little bit in choosing affiliated partnerships and other
Yeah.
companies that you work with? And, of course, there you've just explained so many reasons why this makes sense for our PDO Max customer. But even beyond that, I think it's really interesting in the different types of areas in the market that you're, segmenting into.
Mhm. Yeah. So we love creating partnerships with people who align with our values. And one of the things that we love about PDO Max is that you put education and compliance at the forefront of what you do. And so that was something that resonated with us right away. And I don't know, I think it was you that came to our one of our forums that we do every month. So our providers, we also put education very high on our value list. And so every month we get together with all of our providers, we provide education to them, and we have some people come from other vendors, other providers in the industry, and provide some, I don't know how many times I just said provide some kind of education to our nurse practitioners. And so when our director of clinical operations connected with you and you came, she came to me after and she said, I really think this is a company that we can work with in the future. And so after I talked to you, I think what really hit home for me is that you told me you maintain very small trainer to student ratios in your training for PDO Max. And so that to me really spoke volumes, because again, what I want to do is elevate this industry. And I see you guys doing the same. And so we want to connect with people who have really high standards for what we're doing, because at the end of the day, yes, this is a business. We want to, of course, make money, but the most important thing is patient safety. And so whenever I see people that are really putting that at the forefront of what they're doing, I want to work with them.
Makes sense. And that's exactly what we are about, is the clinical confidence and building that. And our whole policy and procedure and strategy behind that is the smaller the group, the more hands-on, and the way that someone learns and actually captures that, just how it clicks. And
Mhm.
we have found that that is the most successful way to do so. And we like to align with companies that believe in that as well, and that more individualized custom training, that the provider then leaves feeling really skilled and
Yes.
confident about the next steps in that procedure.
Yes.
Because it is something that, we pride ourselves on. Also, women run and women owned
Yes.
is always appealing. And I always like to bring that up because that's something we're quite proud of. And I know you are as well.
Yes, I mean, it is really, really enjoyable for me to run a company that is primarily female. We have right now it's 91% of our workforce are females. Obviously, myself being female, it's incredibly fulfilling to have that. I think we talked about this before, but you know what I notice with female moms, especially working moms, is that we're really able to adapt very quickly, prioritize their time management. And I just love that we're able to offer a solution for people who want to still be at home with their kids a couple of days a week and work a couple of days a week, and they can work from home. You know, when we first started hiring and growing our workforce about 8 years ago, we actually had a lot of our first wave of new employees come from military husbands. They were military spouses. And they would tell me a very similar story, which was, we're moving every 2 years. And it's really hard for me to find a job, keep a job. And so it was really neat that we ended up with this first wave of our hiring. We had all of these military spouses, and they were also working in other parts of the world. One of them was in Japan. Some of them were in other countries as well. And it just was a really cool moment for me to realize that this was an opportunity that we could provide to people that otherwise were having a hard time finding some purpose and work outside of being a mom and moving around all the time.
That's wonderful. And it's really by that design. It's why I also wanted you to connect with Daniela Warner from
Mhm.
Addo Aesthetics, because she had a very similar experience of how she built, the just trajectory of her company, and has a lot of exactly military wives, and no matter where you are, we can, build and grow within our careers. And it's
Yeah.
amazing that we're able to do that. And PDO does that as well. Our trainers are providers as well. And
Mhm.
so it's really amazing. We have about 30 trainers out there nationally, and this is something they do on the side, but they are enjoying their education and learning more and training more. And it's just such a beautiful synergy.
It
And
is.
that really kind of winds us to the last topic, which is, we have accounts that we share, and there's certainly some success stories of the thread providers out there that also access Spakinect resources. Did you have anyone that you want to specifically share, or any feedback that you've had? Because I've received it more directly from our rep in Texas that I can share, but I want to hear your insight first.
Yeah, so we do have several mutual clients. One of them is based in Texas, and I know that when we polled our clients to see how many of them are using PDO Max, we got a good response back from them saying yes, we use them, and yes, we love them, and we would love to see them as one of your member partners. So that was another, after we had already connected and we sent this out, it was just another affirmation that we were doing the right thing, right? That a lot of our clients were already using you, already very pleased and happy with the service. And I would love to get in touch with somebody, maybe be able to do another video where we can talk to one of our mutual clients and be able to ask them a bit about their experience.
Absolutely. And that was our same experience with our rep that is in the Texas market. She started to talk to some of her accounts that also worked with Spakinect, and
Mhm.
she started to see where that synergy was and how much it intertwined into really helping her business.
Mhm.
Because it is what her feedback has been, is that it has helped her uh, accounts gain more confidence and grow with
Mhm.
great momentum.
Mhm.
And that, of course, is wonderful from a business standpoint for PDO Max, that those accounts that we're working with might have just been trained, maybe just gained a medical director, that they are well supported, especially in those beginning stages
Yeah.
of getting set up, working with compliance, all of the things that you have to think of.
Yeah.
And Diana, our rep, that Diana Jarvis, our rep that's in the Texas market, said it really is a smooth transition. It's a smooth, launch of working with PDO Max and Spakinect in synergy when they
Yeah.
first take on threads, or maybe even some of our boosters and whatnot. So
Right.
that was another great point, that it made sense that we are collaborating on projects and, really networking together to lift each other up. We're stronger together.
Exactly right. We're stronger together. And having you guys, having PDO Max as one of our member benefit partners, to me is another way that we can help our clients grow their business, right? Help support them in offering discounts on your packages for being a Spakinect client. So we believe in the same. We have the same ethos here. We just I want to elevate the industry.
Absolutely. Same. We're very much aligned. I want to thank you so much for chatting with me, and I can't wait to maybe have you on a webinar someday and
I would
just
love that.
continue the conversation. And I agree. I think it would be great to hear testimonials from our accounts that we share, and perhaps stay tuned for more of that. So thank you so much for joining today.
Thank
And
you.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. We're really
Thanks,
grateful
Jaclyn.
to be working with you.
Us as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.